So last week on the podcast, I talked about, the story of Jalen Carter, the defensive tackle out of Georgia, possible number one overall pick, having character issues, reported by Tommy Shea saying, oh, whatever, whatever. But then reports were coming out saying that, oh, actually, he was just using his scholarship money to help a non-scholarship defensive lineman be able to eat meals with them and the defensive line, every day and so on. So things are looking great. But then the last 2 days, not so well. So it had come out that he had an arrest warrant out for him from the Athens Police Department due to a situation that happened back in January 15th, where I believe it was a player and a staff member of the Georgia football team got into a car accident and sadly passed away. And they had gotten an arrest warrant on Jalen Carter due to racing and driving disorderly and things like that. The charges against Jalen Carter were a misdemeanor, so he wasn't charged with anything involving the crash, it seems like, but it's just doing things he's not supposed to do generally. But then he went down to Athens. They had him in booking for 15, 20 minutes. He paid $4K in bond, and then he got out. And now he's back at the combine. He's talking to teams. And the big thing I see everyone talking about with this is this going to hurt his draft stock? Personally, if this was closer to the draft or even on draft day, probably. Because usually this kind of last minute shit happens to players and it's teams don't have a time to prepare, then yeah, it's usually going to hurt the draft stock. For example, I think it was 2017, something like that, maybe 2016. When Larry Tunsil was coming out of the draft, and the day of before, while they were walking the red carpet of the draft, they're doing their interviews pre-draft and this is what I'm wearing. The video of him in a gas mask getting fucking absolutely cooked went viral online. And then, yeah, his draft stock tanked a bit. He went 13th, I believe, to Miami. Still had a really good career. Ends up going to Houston. Still doing really well. He's going to get paid a shit ton of money again soon. I believe he's soon. I don't know if his contract's up soon. Again, I don't have the info in front of me, so don't yell at me. But yeah, if it was that kind of a situation, then yeah, I could see him dropping a bit because it's teams are just we don't know. But because it's happening now, and again the charges are misdemeanor and it's kind of being settled currently, then I'm sure everything's fine, and I'm sure he's going to answer a bunch of questions about what's going on. But yeah, I mean, players have also done a lot worse to get their draft stock hurt. I don't think this will. I mean, if his draft stock's going to fall, it's mainly only because of what happens with the quarterback situation coming up. Because everyone's the Bears trading back, possibly Indianapolis trades up, possibly Carolina, maybe even Houston goes up to 1 to pass teams trying to get the number 1 overall pick to get a Bryce Young, Stroud, Levis, possibly Anthony Richardson, because it seems like he's getting a lot of push to be number 1, which I know could just be a hype thing right now to kind of get teams to jump and be scared for other players. But the combine is this weekend. We'll see what happens. I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. But hey, I'm happy Anthony Richardson's getting the love he deserves. I mean, he was a pretty good player last year for Florida. And before it was oh, he'll probably go in the top 20, top 25. And now it's all right, top 15, top 10. He may go top 5. And some people be he may go number 1. And when it comes to mock drafts, and I may have said this before, and if I have, I apologize, but my memory is shit, and you all know this soon enough with watching this podcast long enough, is that mock drafts, in my opinion, are kind of dumb. And I say that because if you're not connected to teams, or you're not an insider or a draft analyst for an ESPN, Fox Sports, CBS Sports, where you're not connected to teams or people involving teams or so on, and you're kind of just going off of what you think, it's a lot of the time it's just the same list from hundreds of different people. Obviously the people will have their own lists, and I'm not saying anything against the draft community. I love the NFL draft. It's besides the actual playing from September to February, it's my favorite time of year. But a lot of time it's just people just putting out the same draft in different formats on Instagram and Twitter, on TikTok, and it's we get it. You think the Bears are going to trade and Bryce Young is going to go number 1 and Jalen Carter's going to go number 2, or Will Anderson or Will Levis or so on and so forth. It's the same thing every year. And it's just like, I get it. I get it. I get it. But the draft's an interesting time because and I follow this Twitter account, and I'm not going to name him because it's on a shot. It's on a shot at them. And I've said this before on other things, and I believe I said it in the last episode as well, where like people continue to bring up, these players like traumatic past. I'm like, we got to stop that. Let's stop that. I'm fucking over it. I'm not going to go into it more because I believe I've said it already, but stop. We need to remind these players of their terrible times. Let's talk about the positive things they've done, not talk about their parents dying in a plane crash 6 years ago and then having to raise their siblings and cousins alone or having to live in homeless shelters. Like, we don't need that. We just don't need that. I don't know. That's just me. But again, we'll see it on ESPN, and it's going to be the topic of everything again, where it's going to be like a 6th-round pick out of like Iowa Tech out of Minnesota, and it's like, yeah, this guy had his whole family murdered. Oh my God. And he had to survive off butter and fucking dog shit. And it's like, can we stop? Stop. Among other things, apparently Evan Engram may get franchise tagged. And let me say, I will admit, Evan, I'm sorry. I was one of those people when he got signed to Jacksonville, I was like, he's not going to do fucking anything. Because his time in New York went really bad. He had like this huge problem where everyone's like, yeah, this guy can't hold on to a ball. He was dropping passes left and right. And obviously, that's still going to happen. And it's very hard for someone to have a year where you don't drop a pass. DeAndre Hopkins has done it, but that's for another conversation. But the Jaguars are pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Jaguars are pretty decent. And now hopefully Roger Goodell can reinstate Calvin Ridley soon, because the fact that he got suspended a year for gambling on sports, which, yes, I know you're not supposed to gamble on the sport you're active in, or usually sports in general if you are a pro athlete. I understand. But let's be honest, he wasn't on the team technically when he was doing it. Sure, he did bet on the Falcons against the Jaguars, but still, it's not something you do. We don't need a Pete Rose situation. So let's relax. But reinstate the guy. I mean, because we can have a conversation about Deshaun Watson and the things that he's done, allegedly, but still, fucking reinstate Calvin Ridley. Let's get this over with, because I'm sick and tired of hearing, well, maybe he would just reinstate him. He's not a bad person. He didn't really do anything that bad. Sure, he bet a few dollars that he's earned on the NFL, but like, who hasn't? I mean, whether it's legal or not in your state, you've probably bet a few dollars on some sports. Whether it's, again, through legal sports betting apps, through like a pool at work or your friends, or you're doing a March Madness bracket, because everyone's done that, whether you give a fuck about college basketball or not. You're throwing some money on some sports. Let's not act like you haven't, okay? Thanks. Sorry, I'm checking Twitter because it feels like every time I record something happens. I just like to be on the ball. That's really all it is. So, I may not want to say all this, but, we're going to have a conversation. Let's talk about Jon Jones. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like I've been the biggest supporter of Jon Jones. I haven't. I've been very vocal of my dislike for Jon Jones. Only going, again, and I want to clarify this, because if I ever say I don't like someone, it's only off of what I'm seeing online. I don't know Jon. Jon doesn't know me. We've never had a conversation. And I want to clarify this as well. I've never gone after him as a fighter, because I can't fight. If I had to somehow fight Jon Jones, I'd rather die. Like, let's be completely honest. If you saw me and then I had to stand across from Jon Jones, I would rather take a gun and kill myself or run. I can't even run away. He'll kill me. So my point is, he's now going to be in the heavyweight division. And I'll probably put the photo if I remember, because again, memory's trash. Someone did a photo comparison of him in 2019 to 2023. And everyone's making jokes saying, he got fat, or, oh, this is him after, like, Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. But he just looks like himself. Like, he looks comfortable because we see him all the time when he's not fighting and all the times he's missed during suspensions where he's, like, bodybuilding and in the gym. And he's, like, above, like, 250. He'll be, like, 265, 270. And he's fucking swole. So him in the heavyweight division just looks like it fits him better than going down to 205. Because if, let's say he walks around at like 230, like 240, that's a lot of weight you got to lose to be at 205. And then obviously, yes, we know they gain it back the next day with like eating and water and all that. So they're not normally at 205 during the fight, but still. He just looks more comfortable at whatever weight he's at than he was at 205. And I think that's going to benefit him even more because Jon Jones is one of the greatest MMA fighters ever. Sure, he likes to do a little cocaine and drink alcohol, which hopefully he's gotten help for because it seems like he may have had a problem with that. And I do take, addiction serious. That's not a joke. Hopefully he's gotten that kind of settled in a better place because I know he has a family and all that. And I'm not saying anything. I'm not coming at him, but just from human to human, hopefully he is in a better place with that now than he has been because it seemed like it was truly a problem for him. So hopefully I wish him the best on that journey because that shit sucks and it's really debilitating. And I've had people in my life who have had addictions and issues with pills and alcohol or hard drugs or, this, that, and the third, and people who have passed away from overdosing. It's not fun. It sucks. It's terrible to see. So hopefully he's on a better path with that. Because again, in regards of his talent, like you're a fucking person and it's not like seeing someone who has an addiction is terrible. But within his talents, he is still an amazing fighter who has done things that a normal fighter can never achieve. It's just not possible. The man is fucking really good at what he does. So I wish him the best though. I do wish him the best in this journey, whatever brings him next in his heavyweight division, because he's probably going to be the champion soon. Francis Ngannou is no longer the champion because he no longer is with the UFC. Where he goes next, I don't know. I've seen some like things about him possibly fighting Tyson Fury in boxing and doing that, which I'm so over like the boxing shit right now. I kind of blame Jake Paul for that. Like, let's be honest. Because, like, Jake Paul doesn't stop, and it's like, I get it. Okay. So, Jake Paul recently fought Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury won by split decision, 2-1. So, congrats to him on that. And I went on, like, I have a separate TikTok page that it's like, I don't really post a lot, but I talk about, like, MMA and boxing and all other shit. Just my thoughts. And I talked about how I don't truly ever see Jake Paul as a boxer. That's not really a shot. And my point is, like, he's an entertainer first, in my opinion, more than he is a boxer first. Because it seems like him and his brother Logan just are more about getting their brand bigger, making more money, becoming, like, these big, massive, known entertainers. So whether that means you're doing boxing, whether that means you're doing, social media stuff, whether that means you're doing music, or, like Logan and KSI have Prime, or Jake Paul does like this betting sportsbook better, I believe it's called. It's like BETR. I think he owns that or is a part of it. I'm not really sure. But to me, it's like that's where like Jake goes first, and how I see it. Like it's like boxing is just like a thing he's doing right now. I'm not saying like he doesn't have talent, because he clearly does. I can't sit here and act like he doesn't have like a talent as a boxer, but I don't see him having like this super long like career in boxing. Like I don't see him going after a title, especially because he's calling out guys like Conor McGregor or Canelo Alvarez or Nate Diaz, and it's like you're not doing that, in my opinion, if you're trying to win a world championship. Like unless you're at that kind of a level to where you're like, all right, I'm at this level, like my record shows it, like I've been doing this forever, like I'm in a big promotion, blah blah blah. So now the next step is to face these big guys so that I can make my way to a championship. Like, that's just not what it is, how I see it. It just seems like he's doing what he can to build his brand, make as much money as possible, and then once, like, the boxing thing kind of either fizzles out because it's like the attention's not there or the money isn't there, that he's going to do something else. Like, that's how it was with social media. Doing social media for years, making a shit ton of money, growing the brand, doing all this crazy shit. And once that got kind of old, then he went on to doing, like, the boxing thing. And he's done music. And same thing with Logan. Like, they've done, Logan does the WWE stuff, and he does, like, the stuff with his podcast. And he does, like, the Prime, stuff with Prime and all that. And it's like, there's a lot of, like, boxes they check off. And I think that's where it is. And people are like, oh, well, you're just a hitter, man. You don't get it. It's like, Jake Paul is a real boxer. It's like, stop. Relax. Take Jake and Logan Schmeat out of your mouth, and we can have a conversation without you just gargling their wieners. Please. And again, I got really no issues with Logan and Jake Paul. Sure, they don't always do the coolest shit. Logan, possibly the whole issue with the scam thing of Crypto Zoo, and Jake Paul doing those mystery boxes years ago, or among other things that I could, spout out over the years that they have done that are not good. You know what I'm referring to for Logan, and then maybe for Jake, but more likely than Logan. But that's not the point here. He's just not a boxer to me. That's just how I see it. That's nothing to do with his talent. Again, nothing to do with his talent. So everyone fucking relax. It's just how I see the trajectory of both Jake and Logan Paul. So everyone relax. Stop being cooked along like, bro, you're a fucking goofball. You're goofy, dude. Like, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. Jake Paul is a real boxer. Like, I had one guy in my comments saying he's had, like, the best 7, his first 7 fights are better than anyone else's 7 first fights. It's like, get the fuck out of here. What are you talking about? Like, let's be honest. If Jake Paul wasn't an entertainer and wasn't someone of, had a following online, he's not calling out Tyron Woodley or Ben Askren or fucking Canelo Alvarez, because they're not going to give him any attention, because no one gives a fuck at that point. If you're just a regular dude just trying to make it in a sport, and sure, you may have like a small following, no one's going to give a shit. Look at Dylan Dennis. That fucker doesn't fight at all. He hasn't fought in years. But because he has a massive following online, people give him attention. Hence, like I'm doing right now, because I'm a fucking moron. But yet, he'll want to fight all these influencers like a KSI or a Jake Paul or a Logan Paul or whoever. And when it comes down to it, he doesn't. It's like, it's stupid. Now, let me clarify something. That sounds like I'm feeling some type of way, or I'm mad. Oh, bro, you're just fucking mad because you're fucking broke and they're fucking up. It's like, stop. It's not that at all. Okay, I'm cool with having fucking 2 subscribers on YouTube and like however many I have on TikTok and whatever. Like, I'm cool. I'm not sitting there just like, man, I don't got any fucking followers, man. Nobody cares about what I gotta say. My life is fucking ruined. Man, fuck this. I quit. I don't care. I'm having fun. But everyone just takes shit way too serious sometimes, and it's like, I'm willing to have a conversation. I'm willing to like talk to someone who I don't agree with, and that's fine. But then when people want to get all personal, like make fun of how I look, it's like, all right, now I know that this is over because you got nothing else to say, because either I'm right or you're just dumb enough not to like actually come up with anything good enough to even talk about. Where you're like, yeah, well, you need a fucking haircut, man. You need to lose weight. You're fucking fat. I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I have to live as myself every day. This isn't new. Like, maybe to you it's new, and you're like, yeah, you ever look in a your teeth are trash, bro. Yo, your fucking hair. Yo, what's good with your facial hair, dude? You should fucking cut it off. You look like a bitch. I'm like, I know. I have to live as myself. I've been living as myself as of recording this the 2nd, 4 more days is my birthday, for 29 years. I know. There's nothing you're going to say to me that's like a physical thing that I haven't already said to myself, or someone else hasn't said to me growing up or as I've gotten older or whatever. So, if you can come up with some new shit, I want to hear it. Because I'm curious. Because like, I've heard the Discord thing. I've heard you probably stay up all night playing video games and drinking fucking. No, I don't. I really don't. Sorry. I wish I could. Don't care though. Like I just find the internet so interesting. I really do, because the internet is gonna tear you down as best as possible, and that's okay. Try to tear me down. No. Hold on. Don't try to please. My point is, I've heard a lot of the insults, and they're not good. Some have been really good. Some have actually made me laugh, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I want to laugh. But if it's the same kind of bullshit all the time, it's like, stop. I mean, you're not saying anything new. I do want to quickly say, though, because it's popped up on my phone, former Panthers owner Jerry Richardson has passed away at the age of 86. Rest in peace to Jerry. I believe he was the owner that just sold it a couple years ago to David Tepper, who now owns the Panthers, which apparently they're trying to re-sign Sam Darnold, which, I mean, good luck. Hopefully Matt Corral, I believe he was injured last year, so hopefully he can recover from that and then take over, because, not to be mean, but Sam Darnold, I don't think it really is the future of the Panthers. Unless the Panthers are trying to just deal with Sam until like next year, and then they can maybe tank and get a Caleb or a Drake May or some other quarterback that's coming out next year. I'm so rude. Which, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, the only quarterback situation that I'm worried about is the Baltimore Ravens, because it doesn't stop. I'm gonna as much as I've said I'm not gonna talk about this. I'm gonna talk about this until it's over, because it doesn't end. Like I thought, all right, it's been a week or two, nothing's really been said about it. I'm okay. And then it's just like, once someone like in the NFL world talks about it, every one of their mothers like, Baltimore doesn't give a fuck about Lamar Jackson. Yo, did you hear that Lamar Jackson isn't gonna get? It's like, shut your mouth, shut your little mouth, shut your mouth, shut the fuck up. All right, fuck off. I'm tired of hearing it. It's like, well, why don't you just get offline? What am I supposed to do? Talk to people? Have a life? Experience new things? No. I'd rather sit in this room talking to myself. Hopefully people watch this and lose my mind in the process. Because you want me to have a life? What the fuck? Rude. You're rude. Okay, and I just cracked my knee because it needed to be cracked. Hold on, see if I can crack the other one. Wait. No, I can't got it. Wow. I'm a big dumb dipshit, clearly. But, yeah, I don't know. Oh, man. The world is an interesting place, and the internet's even scarier. So, but, it is what it is. So, there's not much more I can really say, because the only things I've really covered... Oh, so... I don't know if I mentioned this. I think I did it last episode, but it was announced that Netflix is going to do a kind of like a docu-series on Patrick Mahomes, Marcus Mariota, and Kirk Cousins. And I believe I did, because I talked about like Full Swing and Drive to Survive, which respectfully cover Formula One and the PGA Tour / Live Golf. But Marcus Mariota just got released from the Falcons, and obviously I'm assuming that they've already finished filming and they're working on finishing editing and all that post-production shit for the show. So, like, how does that work now? Because if they do a season 2, it's like, well, do we have to wait for Marcus to get signed? Do we do a season with him maybe if he doesn't get signed or he's a backup? How the fuck is that going to work? But, hey, we'll see what happens. But, and one final thing I want to go to. So, A.J. Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster it doesn't seem like they get along, but it seems like more A.J. Brown doesn't like Juju than it is vice versa. Because there were like tweets, let me see if I can pull it up. I have them on my phone. Where A.J. Brown was talking, he went on Twitter to talk about Juju. Where are they on my phone? He tweeted at Juju like last night, saying, you really need to find somebody else to play with. Don't let that ring get you beat the fuck up, because I'm with all the dumb shit. I'm not gonna speak on it no more. I then posted like a video of some DMs kind of saying the same thing. Oh, have fun in Cabo, enjoy the ring, but like fuck you. And I guess what happened was, because I didn't see this till after I posted these videos on TikTok, where Juju did like a video, like a comedy video with some like comedian online. I don't know if he's like an Instagram comedian or Twitter, TikTok, or whatever. Which I'm sure he's probably just a comedian that just makes videos online, but still, whatever. It pretty much was them mocking the Eagles and like different players on the Eagles, and just there's also shots toward like AJ Brown and all that. So it's like, yeah, he's doing it clearly to like fuck with AJ Brown, and AJ Brown's like, yeah, hey Juju, I just got like a quick thing I want to get through. Go fuck yourself. And it's like, whoa, relax. But hey, you fuck around, you're gonna find out. So what? And I believe Juju is a free agent. What would be so funny, and this is on Juju's part, if it's possible, if there's interest, Juju should sign with the Eagles. So in that wide receiver room, that entire season, it'll be like A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, and then right on the other side of the room is Juju Smith-Schuster. That would be the funniest thing, because then we can maybe get some TikToks from AJ and Juju, hopefully making up. Or, they get in the facility, they lock the doors, and like, you know what? They square up one time, they clear the beef, and then we move on. And then they both have 1,000-yard seasons, along with Devontae Smith, have 3,000-yard 3,000-yard receiving seasons. I can't talk because I'm dumb. And then we live happily ever after. It's probably not going to happen, because most likely I would assume Juju's probably either going to get a bag from someone else, or he's going to stay in Kansas City and then try to go back-to-back with the Chiefs, because they have a very good chance. Because apparently they're also in talks to re-sign their left tackle, Orlando Brown, who was a former Baltimore Raven. Orlando, big fan. Love you, brother. Happy you're getting your bag. I do appreciate Orlando Brown because he stuck to his guns. Because the year before he left, he was a right tackle, and obviously Ronnie Stanley was a left tackle. And he was like, I'm a left tackle. And for context as well, Ronnie Stanley had gotten hurt, and they moved Orlando Brown to left tackle, which is his natural position, and he flourished. He was great, and they were just like, we want you back, but as a right tackle. And he's like, no, I'm a left tackle. Like, this is like, my dad was a left tackle, I'm a left tackle. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Like, that's it. He leaves to go to Chiefs, wins a Super Bowl, is going to get a fat bag. So it looks like it worked out for everyone. Hey, congrats to him. But some kind of things I want to hopefully, you take away from today is, be careful what you do in, like, outside of your normal, like your job. Don't do stupid shit. Don't reckless drive. Don't instigate people to piss them off. Don't do drugs. Don't hit people. Don't threaten anybody. Don't do anything dumb. Make sure whatever you're doing, you're responsible. You're a legal age. You're in a safe environment if you're going to do these illegal things. And, you be smart. That's all I'm asking. Because do I make mistakes? Absolutely. I make mistakes all the time. But that's because I'm a human being, just as you are. And it's in our nature. It's going to happen. No one's perfect. You're not fucking perfect. That's for goddamn sure. That sounded personal. And if you took it that way, I'll put that on you. But, yeah, so just try your best to be a decent person. To, try to do what you can to make your life better and the lives around you better. Don't be a dickhead. All right? Don't do it. Don't you fucking do it. I know what you're going to do. I'm talking to you. Not you. You. I know what you want to do. Cut it the fuck out. Okay? Don't you dare do it. All right? Because I know they told you not to do it. So don't talk to them. Don't go to that place. Don't do that thing. Don't buy that. Definitely don't buy that. Cut it the fuck out. Get your shit together. And be a good person. Okay? So I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this week's episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, this is on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Anywhere podcasts are available, this podcast is then also available, as well as here on YouTube if you're watching this visually. That's even better. Make sure to subscribe, like the podcast, rate the podcast if you're listening on audio, because that only makes this easier for me to get out there and get more ears. And if you subscribe, get more eyes. And if you don't have either, well, I appreciate you regardless, because that's impressive, and I need to do better. That's all it is. So, hopefully the NFL Combine this weekend goes really good. Hopefully no drama comes out of it. Hopefully everyone comes out of it safe. No one gets injured. Hopefully you have a good rest of your weekend. My birthday's coming up on Monday the 6th, so you better fucking tell me happy birthday. You fucking better. Sorry. Yeah, I love you. Again, make sure to subscribe, and all my socials will be at the end of this video here. Wait, on screen here and in the description down below. Make sure to follow. I post on TikTok and Instagram. Well, TikTok all the time, Instagram some of the time, Twitter, I'm on it all the time. So interact with me. Tell me you hate me. Tell me that I'm dumb or something. Or tell me nice things. I would prefer nice things, but I'll accept hate as well. Respectful hate though. So I thank you. I love you. Kiss, kiss. Hug, hug. I'm so sorry. That was weird. If you're not 18, disregard any of that. If you're not 18 or older, don't. That's not for you. It's for anyone 18 and up. Respectfully. 18 below, don't fucking talk to me. Respectfully. I mean, we could talk, but about sports, and that's it. Okay, I'm going down a weird road, and we're gonna cut it. We're keeping it in, but we're gonna cut it here. Thank you, and I'll see you all next time.